If you filled out that form and you've provided these 4 locations, you're ready to move on to the next set. We are still working with hypothesis number 1, where all the risers on a water level lie on a horizontal plane. And now we are ready to go into those final predictions. You have already provided locations A through D in the first form and locations E through H in the second form. Now, with B and E, I think we're ready to calculate what is the predicted value of M1. So you should be able to look at the answers you provided and say what is the height difference between point B and point E, subtract those 2 heights, which would be the y-axis, and when you subtract them, provide your answer for M1. Here's the form up there. That form will have 3 questions. What is the predicted value of M1? What is the predicted value of M2? And what is the predicted value of M3? Now, when you fill that form in, I'm kind of expecting, we've discussed this before, we are expecting to get the fact that those are actually 0. We have set it up so that plane P1 and plane P2 are coincident, that those are the same plane, and that is the core of this realizing Euclid test in the first place. So we are looking for, ultimately hoping to see that M1, M2, and M3 are 0. I have just drawn them separated to indicate what would happen if something were wrong, then there were a gap in there. If there were a gap in here, then something about our hypothesis must be wrong. Okay, that wraps up this first series of questions with hypothesis 1. We now have our prediction. Once you've filled out that form, we have our predictions calculated from first principles all the way down. We calculated points A, B, C, D. We calculated points E, F, G, H, subtracted some of those points, and we got the measurements M1, M2, and M3 that we predict to find. Of course, spoiler alert, hopefully you got 0 for all 3 of those. Now that we've done that, let's do this same thing, a very similar approach for hypothesis number 2 in the next video. I'll put that right over my head. See you in that next video.